Hey guys, how are you doing? I hope you're fine. So, if you discovered my channel recently, it's probably because of some PoE content, and I know most PoE players are not a big fan of Torchlight Infinite, but this season is going to be pretty good. I mean, they are giving us some home-cooked remix of Haste that looks really tasty, on top of revamping a huge chunk of the character building system. If you have any interest and you haven't read the patch note, I invite you to go and read it right now, because it's gonna be pretty good. Well, let's go straight into it. This is what the thumbnail was supposed to look like. And the reason for that is because I plan to do Gamma 2. Now, why did I change my mind? Well, it's because up until yesterday, the database was not updated. And anybody that read the patch note without the update to the database can say that cold damage and freeze effect was the big winner of the patch note, or at least a major winner of it. So going Gamma 2 was a no-brainer, right? And that's the safe option I chose to go to, because I lost hope for them to update the database before lunch. But I was wrong, and they actually updated the database yesterday, and when I read through it, I saw some pretty interesting stuff. And noticeably, this effect that is rating Nimi's effect plus a 40% more damage. And I think that's a very good case to try to make ice shot work. And this is the plan then. But first, I need to warn you. This is probably not gonna be a meta build. And I'm sorry if that's what you were looking for, but I think this ice shot will be really fun, and I prefer going for fun instead of meta. So it doesn't mean the build's gonna suck, we can probably push it pretty far, but it's probably not gonna be the best. So that's for the warning. Now if you want to understand why it's not probably gonna be the best, it's because the main stats for ice shot is dexterity. And dexterity, when you stack it, what you get is lightning damage. I mean, if you try to use any of the legendary piece that works with dex stacking, what you get is lightning damage. And since Ice Shot is a cold skill that converts all of his damage to cold damage, getting lightning is awkward. What I want to tell you guys is I have some good reason to go for this. Let me list all the reason why I'm gonna do this. So the first reason is that attribute stacking has been shadow nerfed. It was not in the patch note, and if you didn't go and read the details of the old talent, then you probably missed it. But the legendary talent node that you would stack on Slate and with the Prairie, that used to give you 15%, is now only giving you 12. So minus 3% doesn't sound like a lot, but when you have 15% that goes to 12 on 4 or 5 Slate, and then 4 more from the Prairie that goes down, then that starts to be a lot of percent that's missing compared to previously. So yeah, attribute stacking has been nerfed. And yeah, the second reason is on the screen, guys. If you want me to spell it for you, we go from negative skill level to positive skill level. We go from triggering the additional freeze duration once every 3 seconds to once every 1 second. And now we're gonna stack the cage effect quite as much. We go from 2 seconds to 1 second interval, which means now you can get your 50 stacks pretty easily. And that also means 100% additional cold damage. So it's very good and doesn't require to have an insane amount of dex to be worth it. And that's why I'm gonna use it. Yes, that's my chess piece. Alright guys, and the next reason is that I can choose between two gloves. Death Touch or Israfel's Law. So Israfel's Law got a massive buff and Death Touch got a small nerf, noticeable nerf at least. And yeah, it means that one's gonna be cheaper than the other. And I think I'm gonna go for the cheaper one. And since I'm a cheap ass mofo, then having the option to go for the cheaper one is a good enough reason in my book to go for it.
And I have more reason. So the next one is that it has to do with the league mechanic. If you look at it, when you open transport, monsters that are guarding the loot are running away in all direction. And if you use the wrong skill, then you're gonna have a trouble to catch them all. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go for Gamma. And more specifically, I wanted to do Ring of Ice Gamma, not Ice Spear or Ice Lance, but I wanted to do Ring of Ice so I could freeze all of them the moment they get out of the wagon and then just kill them all, basically. Just have none of them escape. And I think we can achieve the same thing with Ice Shot on Carino because we're going to have a lot of projectile and they're basically going to all be hidden by it. And we can just fan the whole transport and hit all of them, freeze them all, and catch them all, basically. So yeah, the idea is maximizing the loot we get from the league mechanic. And finally, when was the last time we had a good enough reason to go for Carino 1? I don't remember. And since this new mod is enabling it, I mean, why not? I'm jumping on the occasion, you know? And in the worst case scenario, that something doesn't work, and mechanically sucks, the DPS not good enough, like maybe I can't get any tankiness on it. I don't know which reason, but if there's something that breaks the build, I can always jump into a previous meta build from last season that works very well and didn't really get nerfed. Most of the gear is reusable for this, so yeah, pretty good reason. Now let's talk a little bit more about the core mechanic and the build idea. Well, we are going to use the Noble and the Magnificent support, both of them, and they basically scale out of Frostbite rating. So you might want to ask, well, since you're gonna go for cold and freeze, then you should have stayed with Gamma 2, right? Why did you swap? And well, my answer will be very simple. Don't ask question I don't want to answer. That's about it. Thank you, guys. So on a more serious note, the different talent tree that I'm gonna use. First, the Goddess of Venting, because we're gonna be able to take a Perception and 3 Bird 1 Stone. Although, we'll see, because with Carino I get 2 extra support, and slapping a GMP would be pretty easy, so if I don't need the Proj, I'll go for Think Twice. Think Twice is not translated right now, but what it says is that it's going to be plus 45 attack speed and cast speed if I've used the main skill twice in the last 3 seconds. The tree also give us some pretty decent legendary talent. We got some damage, some move speed, some additional attack speed, additional damage, all pretty good. And then we're gonna take Marksman as our second tree, because Gale is pretty good, and the tree itself gives us a decent amount of attack speed, projectile speed, and also projectile penetration, which is gonna be pretty important to for the Nimis effect. So the next tree that we wanna get is Prophet, and Prophet has 3 main talents that we wanna grab: Frostbitten, Extreme Coldness, and Winter. The tree itself also has a lot of small stuff that we could use, such as chance to inflict frostbite, the increase of frostbite inflicted, some attack speed, crit chance, crit damage, and mainly also the focus blessing generation come from there. Now, how are we gonna get all 3 of the main talent I quoted earlier? Well, pretty easily. We get the cheapest one from Pedigree. So you look at all 3 from Pedigree and you buy the cheapest one. Easy peasy. Then we're gonna get another one from the belt. So on the belt you can either get Winter or Frostbitten. If you got any of them from the Pedigree, well, you get the other one from the belt. If you didn't get, if you went for Extreme Coldness on the Pedigree, then you choose the cheapest way to get Winter or Frostbitten. And finally, the last one that you're gonna be missing, you grab it directly from the tree. And for the final tree, I think you're gonna start with Ronin because it got the Endless Fervor, and as an early starter, I think it's gonna be the most efficient one because you get also some decent amount of attack speed, crit chance, crit damage, and a lot of fervor effect. So that should get your DPS to a pretty good place. But then you're gonna be able to swap, and when you get basically the fervor on your amulet.
and that opened choices for, I think, either Ranger or Leech. Ranger is like gonna give you Fluke, which is lucky crit, and that's pretty good because this way you don't have to build that much crit rating. And the tree also gives a very good amount of crit damage, proj speed, attack speed, a little bit of fervor effect, and also it gives you Cooling Strike and Mark on Hit on Critical Strike. So this is a very well-rounded tree for DPS. I think Ranger is a strong chance as soon as you hit Fervor on your amulet. I think that's one of the main focus when you start crafting tier 1 attribute. And the other choice is Leech, because that's the tree that got the off the beaten track core talent, and that's basically the one that you need if you want to go the aura stacking road, right? And that tree has so this core talent that's very important, some attack speed, some crit chance, some crit damage a little bit, some stats and skill level, cooldown, a lot of seal compensation. I mean that's the tree that you wanna grab if you wanna go aura stacking. So that's the choice. Okay guys, so talking about the different reason why I want to try this starter and also the new talent tree that they made and the choices we have to make to pick the talents, I think was the most interesting thing to talk about. Now going into too much detail about the build and what you should craft on what affixes for every piece is something that probably gonna change as soon as I get to build it, and I will be too lazy to update the spreadsheet. I still did one and it's still in the description, but I know don't follow it too much. You probably should sub and follow the channel because I will be posting more video about the starter, and if it sucks I will tell you guys the same. If you followed me on PoE you know that I'm not afraid of telling you that my ideas were bad, but might also be good. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I know I'm just gonna go for it no matter what, and I'll let you guys know what it is, what's up. So see you guys in the next video, and have a good league start.